Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Thursday, February 26th, 2026. Let's take a look at the charts. A buy signal with yesterday's settlement above 413.54. Obviously, I want to see us open today above 413.54 to maintain the integrity, if you will, of that buy signal. I would expect and am expecting 442.27. This could be over the next 3 to 5 days. So that is a 3 to 5 day swing trade right now, above 413.54. By the end of next week, let's call it 442.27. And yes, 456.31, a 5/8 upside Fibonacci over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And as I've been mentioning, the settlement above 413.54 also places this 502.63 formation in reach over the next month or two. Now, I will say a couple things here. I do want to mention that this 442.27, we may flip-flop that with 456.31. In other words, that may become our three-star resistance. That was a bit of a head-scratcher today. And as we move through time, I do see, and I'll just show you here on this chart right here, that if we were to close above 442.27, let's say over the next week or two, I think that's an accelerator. That is an upward continuation to 502.63 over the following 3 to 5 weeks. Right now, I'm calling 502.63 in reach over the next 1 to 2 months. And if we close above 442.27 over the following 3 to 5 weeks. Now, we're not going to see 442.27 today, but I can already see how this becomes a three-star resistance, just so you know. Now, on the way up today, I do have 436.35. That is actually in reach. Perhaps that is the high that was put out back in the middle of February, and we should reapproach that over the next day, 2 or 3, possibly today, and then 442.27 by the end of next week, by which point I think we will have switched that as a three-star upward pivot point with 456.31, a session containment level. I don't mean to change the analysis on the fly, but I can see that right now that is something that will likely happen. 442.27, able to contain weekly buying pressures, and we could fall away from here for a week or two. But honestly, it is that settlement above 413.54 that I think carries with it a low 500s resistance objective over the next month or two. And this following, the testing about, 3 weeks ago of the 390.1238 Fibonacci. So in hindsight, obviously, that 390.1238 Fibonacci held nicely. And now that we're closing above this channel top at 413.54, I think it's up and away over the next week or so, 442.27, and over the next month or two, that 502.63 to 535.39 region in play. Now, downside, we could quite easily, given our proximity, open back below 413.54. And if so, I don't expect it today, but over the next few days, if we close today below 413.54, we can anticipate 390.12. And yes, if we close below 413.54, that failure to follow through on a buy signal above this channel top, a channel top that held a couple of weeks ago, a failure to follow through to the upside following the settlement Wednesday above it, closing Thursday below it, I do think we can fall back into, well, it's a we don't even have it outlined just yet, but it is channel support, which we haven't committed to yet because we have violated the channel top. But it would be in the 360s, 350s, 340s through time. I have outlined that scenario. I do think if we close below 413.54, you can play this 321.81, 89 level and climbing into the 330s over the next couple of weeks as a big picture objective over the next couple of months. Closing below 413.54, I have no problem in playing the 330s, 340s as a 1 to 2 month target. That would obviously also be below 416.52, that channel bottom we closed below last week. So we are right at the capitulation point. We have closed above 413.54. At this stage, there's nothing to consider but upward continuation. over the next week or two to 442.27. But if we do close back below 413.54, you've got to be nimble here. If you went long, you need to exit that long position with a settlement today below 413.54, because I do see this market then falling into March trade, as I've already outlined. I think that pretty much rounds it out. Please click like, share, subscribe. I will be back tomorrow, of course, with Friday's Tesla report, and you have a great day.